What if a simple passion for candles could lead to reclaiming a family business worth millions? Join me on my incredible journey of overcoming doubts, facing criticism, and lighting up my path to success. Hi there, I'm Emily and I'm 27 years old. I live in a small town where the scent of fresh lavender often fills the air. Ever since I was a little girl, I've had a passion for making candles. I started my own candle business a few years ago, and it has been quite a journey. From a simple hobby to now owning my family's manufacturing company, I've faced challenges, learned valuable lessons, and discovered the power of believing in myself. I'm excited to share my story with you and show how dreams can light the way, just like my candles. Every holiday season, my heart raced with excitement. I loved the magic of it all, carols, lights, and the smell of cinnamon. But this year was different. I had a plan. Mom, I'm going to make candles for everyone, I announced one evening, my eyes sparkling with ideas. Oh, sweetie, Mom said, smiling. That sounds lovely. I couldn't wait to share my creation with my family. I spent hours in my room, melting wax, adding lavender, and pouring it into jars. The candles looked beautiful, glowing with a soft light. They were personal, each one was made with love. Finally, the day came for the big reveal. I had set up my candles on the dining table, each one decorated with a ribbon. My heart thudded as my family started to gather. Wow, what's this? My older brother Jake asked, glancing at the table. Candles. I made them for all of you, I replied, bursting with joy. Is that what you've been doing? That's cute, he said, chuckling. Yeah, like broke Martha Stewart, my sister Anna added, her eyes sparkling with laughter. My smile wavered. It felt like a punch to the stomach. Come on, guys. They're meant to be special, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. They look like something from a dollar store, Jake mocked. Yeah, really, Anna giggled. You could have bought us gifts instead. My heart sank. Did they not see the effort, the hours I'd spent pouring my heart into these candles? You guys, I worked hard on these, I said quietly. Oh, we know. It's just you're not exactly rich, are you? Jake smirked. I felt a wave of heat creep up my cheeks. I might not have money, but I have creativity. And that's what counts. Dad walked into the room, sensing the tension. What's going on? He asked, looking from me to Jake and Anna. Emily thinks she's going to win Gift of the Year with homemade candles, Anna said, her laughter ringing in the air. Really? Candles? Who uses those anymore? Jake added, rolling his eyes. I felt tears sting my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I thought you'd like something personal, something from the heart, I said, pleading with my voice. Sorry, Dad said, looking at my candles, but they do look really homemade. I felt crushed. I guess that's what I am, right? Just homemade. Hey, no, Dad said quickly. You're so much more. A candle is just a candle, but it's the heart that makes it special. Then why don't they see it? I whispered, fighting back the tears. I see it, Emily. I see your effort. That counts, he replied softly. I took a deep breath. Maybe I could prove them wrong. Maybe next year I could make something even better. You'll see. I'll show you all how great my candles can be, I declared, determination flooding through me. Good luck with that, Jake said, his laughter fading. But deep down, I felt a fire ignite within me, stronger than ever. I would prove them wrong. I wouldn't be just homemade, I would be so much more. That day, I vowed to keep trying, no matter what they said. I would make my mark. The morning sun streamed through the office windows as I sat at my desk, wrapping a candle in bright paper. I was so excited to show my coworkers my new creation. It was lavender-scented, and I could almost smell the calming aroma as I imagined their smiles. Emily, do you really need to be making that mess here? Tom, my boss, suddenly said, striding into the room. His voice was cold. I looked up, surprised. I just wanted to share my candles with everyone, I said, holding it up proudly. He frowned, crossing his arms. Candles? Really? You think anyone cares about that? The laughter from my family echoed in my mind. It's not just candles, I replied, fighting to keep my voice steady. It's about creativity and passion. I'm sure that passion won't pay the bills, will it? Tom snapped. You need to focus on your actual job. I felt heat rise to my face, and I fought the urge to cry. But this is my dream, I whispered, barely believing my own words. Dreams don't matter here. We're at work, he chuckled, shaking his head as if I were a child. Get serious, Emily. You can't play around with candles. It's not a real business. What can it be? I said, my voice harder than I intended. People love candles. They bring light and happiness. Tom rolled his eyes. Light and happiness? That's nothing but smoke and fluff. Focus on your tasks. My heart sank. Did he really think my passion was so worthless? I tried to hold back my tears, but they threatened to spill. I understand, I said quietly, looking down at my desk. Good. Now get back to work, he said, walking away with a smug smile. I felt numb. The disappointment washed over me like a cold wave. Why did everyone treat something I loved so cruelly? Why couldn't they see my heart in those candles? I took a deep breath and blinked back my tears. I needed to be strong. If Tom didn't believe in me, I had to believe in myself. Maybe I should work harder on my business, I thought, determination bubbling up inside me. I wouldn't give up. I would push through the hurt. After work, I went home and began sketching ideas for new candles. I wanted them to shine brighter than ever. I wanted to create something special. I worked late into the night, melting wax and mixing scents. This will show them, I said to myself, pouring my heart into each candle. You'll see. Everyone will see. The next morning, I returned to the office with new energy. Though Tom made his usual snarky comments, I felt a little lighter. Back to your candle making, I see, Tom sneered. I smiled, though my heart still hurt. Actually, I'm working on something big. You'll see. Suddenly, a flicker of hope ignited in my chest. Maybe one day I'd have my candle shop and I'd show him what passion really looked like. Just you wait. I'll show everyone what I'm made of. With that thought, I left the office feeling a little stronger, a little more determined. I was ready to turn my dreams into reality. No one would belittle my passion again. I'd prove them all wrong. The cozy little coffee shop became my escape. The moment I stepped inside, the smell of brewed coffee wrapped around me like a warm hug. I spotted Sarah at our usual table, sipping her latte. Her smile lit up the room. Emily, I'm so glad you're here, she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Hey, Sarah, I replied, sliding into the chair opposite her. I need to talk. What's wrong? She asked, tilting her head. I took a deep breath. It's about the candles. At work, Tom belittled my passion. He said it was just a fluff thing. What? That's ridiculous, Sarah exclaimed, her brow furrowing. He has no idea how hard you work on them. I know, but it hurts so much. I thought people would see how much I love making them, I confessed, my voice shaky. Emily, you're so talented, Sarah said, her voice firm. Don't let anyone dim your light, not even Tom. I smiled weakly. It's hard. Sometimes I feel like giving up. You can't. I believe in you, she said, leaning forward. You have a gift and people would love your candles. You just need to show them. Really? I asked, my heart fluttering with hope. Absolutely. You should start selling them online. I'll help you, she grinned, her excitement contagious. Sell them online? Do you really think so? Doubt wrapped around me like a heavy blanket. Definitely. Imagine it, your own little candle business. You could reach so many people, she said, her eyes shining bright. Suddenly, I felt a surge of energy. You're right. I can do it. I just need to put myself out there, I said, my voice gaining strength. Exactly. Let's brainstorm some ideas right now, Sarah exclaimed, pulling out her notebook. We spent hours talking, sketching logos and writing down scents. What about lavender, vanilla, and that cinnamon apple scent you love, she suggested. Yes, and I want to create themed candles for holidays, I said, my excitement bubbling. As we planned, I felt lighter. The fear inside me started to fade away. Sarah, this is amazing. I can't believe I waited so long, I said, grinning from ear to ear. You're going to shine, Emily. I know it, she said, her voice full of encouragement. After our coffee date, I rushed home, ready to jump into action. I created an account on a selling platform. My heart raced as I uploaded pictures of my candles and wrote descriptions. This is it, I told myself, tapping the keyboard with determination. Finally, I'm doing this. Over the next few weeks, I poured all my energy into my candles. I spent evenings mixing scents and pouring wax. I even added little tags with uplifting messages. May your day be as bright as this candle, one read. To my surprise, orders started coming in. This is incredible, I shouted one evening, checking my phone. I'm actually selling them. I couldn't wait to tell Sarah. I did it. People are buying them, I called her, my voice brimming with excitement. See, I told you, you're living your dream, she cheered. I felt on top of the world. Thank you for believing in me, I said, heart full of gratitude. You did this, Emily. You worked hard and you deserve every bit of it, she replied. I hung up beaming. I was finally following my passion. I wouldn't let anyone dim my light again. I would keep shining one candle at a time. Years flew by like the flicker of a candle flame. My candle business grew, and every little success felt like a celebration. I still remembered my first sale, the thrill of it, and now it had blossomed into something wonderful. One day, while packing orders in my workshop, my phone buzzed with an email from a luxury boutique. Emily, we'd like to stock your candles. I squealed, nearly dropping a jar of lavender. This is huge, I said to myself, staring at the screen in disbelief. Luxury boutiques? Are you kidding me? I quickly called Sarah, my best friend and biggest supporter. Sarah, you won't believe it. A boutique wants to sell my candles. No way. That's amazing, she exclaimed. Her excitement matched mine. You've worked so hard for this. I remember when I first started and everyone laughed. They called me a broke Martha Stewart, I said, swallowing a lump in my throat. Ugh, forget them. Look at you now, she cheered, her voice full of pride. I felt a mix of anger and satisfaction. All those years I had been underestimated. You're right. I want them to see what I've built, I said, my determination growing stronger. Let's create a plan. You need to impress them, Sarah said, her voice commanding. You're right. I should prepare something special, I replied, feeling my nerves kick in. Over the next few days, I worked day and night. I mixed new scents, fresh citrus, cozy fireside, and even a holiday collection. Each candle felt like a piece of my heart. Are they ready yet? Sarah asked excitedly during one of our calls. Just about. I want everything to be perfect, I replied, arranging the candles on my display table. Finally, the day came. I stood in front of the boutique manager, shoulders back, heart pounding. Thank you for considering my candles, I said. My voice was steady, even if my insides were doing flips. The manager inspected my candles, holding them up to the light. These are beautiful. The scents are delightful, she said slowly, a smile creeping onto her face. I've always believed candles can bring joy, I replied, trying to hide my nervousness. They're made with love and hope. Do you have a story behind each one? She asked, her interest piqued. Yes. Each candle is inspired by moments that bring happiness. Here's one, it's called Morning Sunshine, I explained, explaining the feeling I wanted to evoke. The manager nodded, impressed. I see that. Your passion shines through. After a long pause, she added, we'd love to carry your line. I felt a rush of happiness. Thank you. I can't believe this. As I walked out of the boutique, I felt like I was floating. I had done this. I remembered those painful words from my family, the way Jake and Anna had laughed. Anger stirred inside me again. Did they still think my candles were just fluff? Did they realize how far I had come? I took a deep breath. Yes, I had faced doubt and criticism, but I had proved them wrong. Later, I called Sarah to share the good news. They're going to carry my candles, I shouted, unable to hold back my joy. Emily, you did it. I'm so proud of you, she screamed right back. Thank you for believing in me, I replied, feeling warmth flood through me. As I hung up, I couldn't help but reflect on my journey. I had turned their laughter into a source of strength. I would keep growing, keep shining. With renewed determination, I looked out at the sunset, reminding myself that this was just the beginning. My candles would illuminate every room, and I would continue to light up my own path. The days flew by, and my candle business continued to grow. I couldn't believe it when I opened an Amazon distribution chain. This is incredible, I said as I stared at the orders pouring in from all over the country. Emily, this is amazing, Sarah exclaimed during one of our phone calls. You're reaching so many people now. I know. It feels unreal, I replied, my heart racing with excitement. But I want even more. I want everyone to experience the joy of my candles. But as I celebrated my success, I couldn't help but notice the news about my family's manufacturing company. My phone buzzed with a message from my mom. Emily, we're struggling. We might have to downsize. Downsize? I whispered, panic creeping in. My heart ached. This company was part of our family for generations. What's happening? They're cutting costs and laying off workers, Mom said. Jake and Anna are worried. It's just so stressful. I felt a whirlwind of emotions. I wanted to help my family, but my mind raced with business ideas. What if I could help them? I thought, biting my lip. Maybe I could use my candle profits? But would they accept that? Would they want my help after what they said in the past? I didn't want to offer out of pity. That evening, I visited my family. I walked through the familiar hallway, memories flooding back, memories of laughter, of the warmth that had once filled this place. I found Jake and Anna huddled together in the living room. Hey guys, I said softly. Emily, thanks for coming, Anna said, her eyes tired. I heard about the layoffs. I'm really sorry, I replied, my heart heavy. Thanks, Jake said with a sigh. It's just been tough. Dad's stressed out. We don't know what we're going to do. I wanted to scream, to find a solution that could help. What if I could help you? I finally asked, surprising myself. What do you mean? Anna asked, her interest piqued. I could invest some of my money into the business. We could collaborate, I said, trying to be hopeful. What? Candles and manufacturing? Are you serious? Jake asked, raising an eyebrow. I am. I can buy supplies in bulk, and we could even create a line of candles that showcases family roots or manufacturing history, I explained, excitement rising in my voice. But we've always done things our way, Jake replied, looking skeptical. I know, but this could really work. It's a chance for both of us to grow, I pleaded. Think about it. My business is doing well. We could merge our talents. Anna frowned. But will Mom and Dad accept this? It's hard for them right now. I think they might. They want to save the company, and so do I. I want us to be a team, I said, my heart racing. Jake rubbed his chin thoughtfully. It's an idea. It could help us stay afloat. Exactly. Let's at least pitch it to Mom and Dad together, I suggested, feeling hope blossom in my chest. As we talked, I felt a mix of anxiety and excitement. What if they said no? What if they rejected my offer? But then a small voice in my head reminded me that I had already overcome so many challenges. Later, I faced our parents. Mom, Dad, we have an idea, I started, my heart pounding. What kind of idea? Dad asked, looking weary but curious. We could combine our businesses. I can invest in your company to help it grow. We can make a new candle line, I said, watching their faces closely. Candle line? Mom repeated, surprise mingling with hope. Yeah, a line that connects both our crafts, I continued, feeling the weight of my proposal. It could bring us all together again. As my parents exchanged glances, I held my breath. Would they see the light in this opportunity? Would they let me help? Let's think about it, Dad finally said, a hint of a smile playing at his lips. I felt relief wash over me. Maybe this was the start of something new for both of our dreams. Perhaps we could rise together, the past and the future merging in a warm glow of hope. The day of the auction was buzzing with anticipation. I could hardly sit still. I can't believe this is happening, I murmured to Sarah as we waited in the crowded room, surrounded by bidders wearing suits and serious faces. You've worked so hard for this moment, she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. You can do it, Emily. I had set my budget at $92 million. It felt surreal. This was my family's company, the very place where my dreams began. Today, I was determined to reclaim it. As the auctioneer started, my heart raced. Do I hear $30 million? He called out. I raised my hand as my heart pounded. $30 million. Do I hear $35 million? He asked. I barely had time to breathe. The numbers jumped as other bidders joined in, raising their hands. $50 million, someone shouted. I felt the panic rising. This was my family's future. $70 million. I called out, surprising even myself. It was a big leap, but I was all in. As the bidding continued, I gripped Sarah's arm. Keep going. Don't give up, she encouraged. Finally, a deep voice from the back called out, $92 million. I held my breath. This was it. I bid $92 million. I shouted, my voice echoing in the room. The auctioneer paused. Going once, going twice, sold. The room erupted into applause, but it felt like I was in a bubble. I had done it. I had bought the company. I turned to Sarah and we jumped up and down, laughing and hugging. Emily, you did it, she screamed, her excitement contagious. I can't believe this, I said, my heart soaring. I'm going to tell my family. I rushed home, my pulse racing. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the house. I walked in feeling both nervous and excited. My family was gathered around the dinner table, a usual scene that felt extra special today. Hey, guys, I have something to share, I said breathlessly. Is everything okay? Mom asked, concern flashing across her face. I bought the company, I announced, my voice bursting with joy. What? Jake said, his fork clattering to the plate. Are you serious? Anna added, her eyes wide. Yes, I bought it for $92 million at the auction. Silence fell over the room. Their faces were a mix of shock and disbelief. I wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. Emily, that's a lot of money, Dad finally said, looking stunned. I know, but I couldn't let it go. It's part of our family. I want to bring it back, I said, feeling the energy building within me. Why would you do this? Jake asked, still in disbelief. Because I believe in our family and our history. I want us to thrive again, I replied, my voice steady. I could feel the weight of my words hanging in the air. Tears filled my mom's eyes. You really believe in us that much, she whispered. Of course, we can take this company to new heights together, I exclaimed, feeling triumph surge through me. I never thought I'd see the day. This is incredible, Anna said, her jaw dropping in amazement. You're amazing. You're our hero, Jake added, slowly shaking his head in disbelief. It felt so good to hear those words. I had finally turned their doubts into faith. I'm so proud of you, Mom said, pulling me into a tight hug. We can work together again. I thought you'd never want to see me in a business setting again, I chuckled, but my heart felt light. I was wrong, Dad admitted, smiling with pride. You've made something beautiful out of your passion. Let's build our future together. As I looked around the table, I felt a whirlwind of emotions. Love, pride, and excitement filled the room. I had triumphed against the odds, and now we were united in the journey ahead. This was just the beginning. With my family by my side, we could illuminate our future one candle at a time. The transformation of the factory into my candle lab was nothing short of magical. I walked through the wide doors, remembering how different it felt just a few weeks ago. Now, it buzzed with the scent of melting wax and the soft hum of laughter. Look at all these changes, Emily, Sarah said, her eyes glimmering with excitement. This place feels alive again. I smiled, pride swelling in my chest. I hired back everyone I could. We're not just making candles, we're creating a family atmosphere. As I made my way through the factory, I saw familiar faces. Jake was in the mixing area, stirring large vats of wax. Can you believe this, Em? He said, grinning widely. I can't. It feels surreal, I replied, feeling gratitude wash over me. Mom and Dad were helping organize supplies, and their energy filled the place with warmth. It was everything I had hoped for, but deep down I knew there was one difficult conversation I still needed to have. Aunt Linda and Uncle Mike had been part of the original company, but their recent struggles had left me uneasy. I had to set some boundaries. I gathered my parents and the team in the meeting room. I want to talk about bringing back everyone, I began, my heart racing. But I won't be hiring Aunt Linda and Uncle Mike. Gasps echoed in the room. Jake looked shocked. Emily, but they're family. I know, I said, feeling tears prick at the corners of my eyes. But I need to be professional. Their treatment of the workers before was hard for many. I can't let that continue. Mom nodded slowly, concern etched on her face. Your heart is in the right place, honey. It's tough to make these decisions. Why not give them a chance? Jake asked, his voice laced with hesitation. Because I don't want my business to turn into the past, I replied, determination strengthening my voice. I want it to be a healthy environment for everyone. Silence lingered, heavy with tension. Okay, Jake finally said, I support you. I could tell it wasn't easy for anyone, but I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Thank you, I said, feeling raw but liberated. The following week, I arranged to meet Aunt Linda and Uncle Mike. I didn't know how this conversation would unfold, but I needed to be honest. When they arrived, the air was thick with unspoken words. Thank you for coming, I said, nervous but ready. Of course, dear. We're excited to hear what you have planned for the company, Uncle Mike said, a strained smile on his face. I took a deep breath. I've decided to hire back everyone who matches our new vision for the business, and unfortunately, I can't offer you both positions, I said carefully. What? Why? Aunt Linda exclaimed, her tone a mix of shock and anger. We built this company. I appreciate everything you did, but I need to create a positive environment for everyone, I replied, my voice steady yet kind. This is about moving forward and healing, not going back. Uncle Mike frowned, but Emily, think of family. I am thinking of family. My vision for the company is about respect and understanding, I insisted, feeling a mix of sadness and firmness. They exchanged glances, disappointment etched on their faces. I see, Aunt Linda said quietly, her voice trembling. I hope one day you understand. I want nothing but success for everyone, I said, feeling tears threaten to spill. Leaving the meeting, a sense of closure washed over me. I had made tough choices, but they were necessary. That night, as I sank into bed, I reflected on my journey. From a girl with a passion for candles to a business owner who had reclaimed her family's legacy, it felt complete. I did it, I whispered into the quiet of the night. I really did it. Pride filled my heart as I closed my eyes, dreaming of the bright future ahead. The Candle Lab was now a symbol of hope and a brighter tomorrow. I was ready for whatever came next. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Now I want to hear from you. What's a dream you've been too afraid to chase? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's inspire each other to light up our own paths.